Okay, so find yourself in a tall, supportive seat. Whatever that looks like for you today is fine. You can have your legs crossed, sit on the floor, sit on a block, sit on your chair. If you're in a chair, maybe feet flat on the ground in line with your knees and knees in line with your hips, shoulders stacked on top of your hips, head, like the weight of your head. See if you can find where it's perfectly balanced on top of your spine. That's what it's designed to do, is hold that up for you. And then let your gaze go forward and slightly down. Imagine tucking your chin down and back so you get even longer in the back of your neck. Keep your elbows bent, but rest your arms on something. Lock your attention ahead of you at something that's not moving. And then soften the muscles around your eyes and your jaw and your mouth. Shift any way you need to get even more comfortable. And then create a barrier in your mind. Separate yourself from what you were doing and come fully now into what you are doing. And start to ground and center yourself, starting with anything that you see in your field of vision, whether your eyes are open or shut. Notice shapes and colors first. Notice lights and shadows. Notice objects, windows, other people, doors. Where is everything in the room in relation to your own body? Notice the noises in the space besides my voice. And bring your attention to your own personal bubble. Use your spidey sense, get a feel of what's immediately behind you and to the sides of you and immediately in front of you. You might feel air on your skin versus where clothing is covering your skin. See if you can sense the textures and the temperature and the pressure differences. Notice the weight of your body in your seat. And notice your breathing without changing it. Start to elongate your breath by bringing your inhales down lower and deeper into your belly than you normally do. You might feel like you're ballooning your belly a little bit, expanding it really big when you breathe in. As the diaphragm pushes the organs down, it creates an expansive feeling. And then as you exhale, you might feel or imagine that balloon deflating, everything coming back to the center. And keep breathing in longer and deeper like this, preferably through the nose, only because the nose is designed to warm and slow the flow of air. But if it's not accessible or it doesn't feel comfortable, of course, breathe in and out of your mouth as you need. But you might act like you're blowing out of a straw, so the tube of air is smaller. And as you breathe this way, notice your breath as a 360-degree experience, meaning feel not just the front side of the body, the chest and the belly move as you breathe, but also notice the sides of your waist, your ribs, under your armpits, and notice the back, low, middle, upper back. You might even feel this in your limbs, all the way through your extremities to your toes and fingers and the top of your head. One or two more like that. And then return back to your normal passive breath and notice anything left over so far, any shesha. Good. Inhale and open your eyes if you haven't already. You might kind of take in the room around you again. It might look a little different. That's normal. And then scoot forward towards the edge of your seat so you have a lot more room behind you for the movement part of class. But of course, you always have the option to just sit and breathe if you need time to do that, or to move slower or faster or do something completely different than what I'm about to suggest. As always, make this your class. Okay, so inhale, push into your feet and get taller through the crown of your head. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Let's do this kind of dynamically today. So inhale through the center and then exhale slowly to the other side. Follow your own breath, but we're just going to go back and forth a few times. Inhaling middle and exhaling over to one side. So not pushing and forcing all the way, just noticing movement with the breath. Try to do the same amount of turns to each side. And then when you feel kind of even that way, start turning the face towards one side of the room. And then inhaling to the middle and exhaling, look to the other side. Keep your spine super tall, push into your feet in your seat, pelvis and belly organs pulling in and up, shoulders pinched behind you slightly, all in an effort to support the spine and make you feel as long as possible. Try to do the same number of passes on each side this way. And then when you're ready, come to stillness in the center. Inhaling, get even taller. Exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. And again, breathe dynamically. Scrape your chin to one side. Inhale. Exhale slowly through the center. Inhale, other side. Stay tall, even through the upper back. Squeezing the shoulders behind you will help. Do the same number of passes to each side. And then inhale, lift your head so you can look straight ahead again. Head stacked on top of your spine, shoulders stacked on top of your hips. Push into your feet. Belly in and up. Good. Torso really, really long and tall, but shoulders down away from the ears. And place your fingertips on the back of your skull. You don't have to push. It's just to hold here. And for some people, they like to interlace the fingers. And for some people, they like to slide the thumbs up to what's called the occipital ridge. They kind of nudge in there kind of nicely. It's right where your skull meets the top of your neck. So you can brace your fingers there too if you wish. Okay, now start to inhale, pull the chest forward, pull the elbows apart from each other. You might look up slightly, but let your hands really hold the weight of the head. And then as you exhale, round the upper spine, pull the elbows together and look down. So it's kind of like a tiny cat-cow. Inhale, open. Belly forward, chest forward, elbows open. Exhale, round the shoulders, pull the elbows in, squeeze the sides of your head a little bit. Back and forth. When you're ready, inhale back to the center and keep your hands where they are. Elbows out to the sides. Good. Inhale, get taller through the crown of your head. You might kind of act like you're pulling your head up a little bit just by applying pressure with the thumbs and pulling upward, not pushing forward. Good. Identify where your right elbow is. You can give it a wiggle if you want. And then breathe in to get tall. Exhale, kind of like a side crunch. Just dip the right elbow down. Squeeze the shoulder towards the hip. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale, other side. Elbow down towards the ground, squeezing the shoulder towards the hip. Back and forth at your own pace. Inhaling to the center and exhaling to side crunch. Hands holding the weight of your head, but you can change your grip if you find that it's not working for you. And you can take the arms out of the equation if it gets to be too strenuous on the shoulders by just releasing the hands down to the small of your back or to your lap. Do the same number of passes on each side. And then meet me in neutral in the center. Inhale, get really tall, really pull your elbows apart from each other. Exhale, twist to the right, just using the strength of the belly. You might not twist very far, especially with the arms involved here, but that's okay. If you wish, you can release the hands to kind of rest them on your chair and your leg to hold you in place, but try not to pull yourself further. Organic twist, inhaling for length, exhaling to squeeze the belly, adding pressure to the internal organs and giving them a bit of a massage. Good. And then inhale back to the center and exhale other side. Keep your hands where they are or release them down. Inhaling for length and exhaling to squeeze the belly. Good. When you're ready, inhale all the way back to the center. Exhale, fold forward. So release your hands. You can come forward just partly by either bracing your weight into your hands or onto your elbows. You might then cradle your head, especially if you're the type to get like headaches and migraines. I wouldn't necessarily recommend letting your head go below your heart. But if you're not really in fear of that, then you might let your head dip down and get super, super heavy. And you could do the same with your arms. Everything can really get slumpy and heavy here. Shake your head yes a little bit. And shake your head no a little bit. Real gentle. As slowly as you can, roll yourself up to a tall spine. Really take your time. That means your head and your shoulders are going to come up last. Stacking the mid back on the low back, and then the upper back on the mid back, and then the shoulders. Huge roll when you get to the top, and let your head stack back on top of your spine. Ooh, maybe another shoulder roll. Good. Okay, we had a request to work on Warrior II today, so let's work on it. But today we're going to try it standing. So stand up out of your chair and just get your chair out of your way. Okay, so Warrior II is a bit of a complicated pose, right? So if I'll just show you to remind you. So your legs are pretty far apart, okay? Your front leg, the front one that's bent, is an external rotation. So that means from the midline, we're pulling it out to the side. The back leg is actually an internal rotation. So that's why this asymmetrical pose can leave a lot of residue, both in the muscles and in the joints, because we're like twerking, I don't know if that's a word, but we're moving a lot in this pose. And that's why it's challenging, and that's why we play with it, okay? So let's start by taking a wide stance with your feet both pointed forward in the same direction as your chest and your face. Good. Now, bend your knees a little bit, kind of test the diving board, so to speak. And then come almost all the way up, but don't lock the knees. Keep them a little bit bent, keep the muscles engaged. Focus on pushing into the pinky toes, focus on pushing into the big toes and the heels. So you're like suction cupping your heels down onto the ground and lifting the arches up. Okay, now see if you can just lift the left toes and turn them to the side. Yes, so now when you look down, there's an L shape. But again, push into both big toes, both little toes, both heels. Once you feel secure, you can start to bend into your left knee. Good. So back leg is going to stay long, and you're really extra pushing into the pinky toe edge, like that blade edge of your foot. So I couldn't come swipe a credit card in there if I wanted to. And then when you look down at your front knee, you should still be able to see your big toes on the ground. If not, squeeze the hip and the buttock and work on opening that knee more towards the pinky toe edge of that foot. So you might already feel like you're back bending a little bit. Okay, that's fine, but really pull in and up on the belly and the pelvis to help secure the pelvis more instead of being too loosey-goosey. Think of like a bag of Jell-O, right? Like make the bag stronger so the Jell-O doesn't wiggle so much. That's what I think of. And then if you wish, you can keep your hands at your hips or at your heart, or you can open your arms over your legs. And remember too, we're not trying to open up as far as we can and pull the arms back. So what I like to do is put my fingertips at the center of my chest and then open my arms straight out of my shoulder sockets. Good, that's your T shape. If you wish, you can look over the middle finger of your left hand, or you can look past it. Warrior two. Now stay here for another moment. Inhale, lift your front arm up towards the sky. Back arm, right arm can touch down on your leg behind you. See if you can lift your back ribs up off your hips. Create more length all the way from the floor to the fingertips. Good. Come back to your warrior two. Inhale, straighten your front leg, bring your hands back to your hips, and turn your toes forward. Heel toe your feet back underneath you for a little break. If you want to kind of like roll your ankles, I like to crack my toes. Grandma wouldn't like it, but I do it. Do what you need to do. Okay? And now let's try it on the other side. So notice what's left over so far. You might feel some residue. That's normal. And then take a big wide step. Doesn't have to be like a split, just wider than the hips. And again, focus on pushing into big toes, little toes, and the heels. You might actually imagine rocking your weight back a little bit into the heels. So you can just use the toes as more like ornaments, if that makes sense. Good. And then try only to lift the right toes and turn them out to the side. Yes. Then practice bending into the front knee. And once you do that, if your knee goes like way over your toes, then you can either take a bigger step apart, or you can just bend the front knee less. Good. You don't want it way over. Make sure you can still see your front big toe. Pull the hip and the glute there so you can pull the knee towards the pinky toe edge. Back foot as long and strong as you can make it, and you're pushing hard into the pinky toe edge especially. Not only, but especially. Good. From the waist down, imagine getting very heavy and solid, like concrete. And then from the waist up, imagine feeling much lighter and longer. Lift your ribs up off your hips. You can put your hands where you want. Hips are good. Chest is good, or open your arms out to a big T shape. And you might kind of try the wingspan trick again so that you don't pull your arms unnecessarily. Gaze at your front middle finger or past it. See what happens if you relax the shoulders down away from the ears, bend the elbows, and turn the palms up. Without moving anything, scissor your legs together. So imagine pulling them towards each other more without letting them actually move. And then imagine pushing them farther apart from each other. Good. Big inhale, front arm lifts up towards the sky. Create as much length as you can and stay for a breath. When you're ready to breathe in, come back to warrior two, arms out. And then straighten your front leg, turn your toes, and heel toe your feet back underneath you. Shake it out, wiggle it out, do what you have to do. But then do find stillness and notice what's left over. Good. Let's try one more. So take another wide stance. We're going to do left knee forward this time again. So turn your left toes to the left side of the room. Bend your left knee. Open your arms out to a big T shape. Now that you've tried it already and explored, you might come into it a little quicker than you did last time. Good. Good. This time, bend your front elbow, lean down and place your elbow on your thigh or your knee. You can stay here, or you can kind of swim your right fingertips up towards the sky and open your chest towards the front of the room more. Yeah. Keep bending into the front knee. Keep using both sets of feet to keep you secure. Keep imagining opening your chest to the front of the room. Push down hard into your feet, belly organs lift in and up, and then you can inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, hands come down, leg straightens, and then heel toe your feet back underneath you. Take a breath, notice what's left over. Okay, other side, wide stance again. Toes start pointing in the same direction, and then lift the right toes and turn them to the right. So when you look down, you see an L shape. Bend your front knee. Don't let it go way past the toes. Try to open the knee out towards the pinky side. Inhale, open your arms to a big T shape. Find your perfect warrior two. Shoulders down away from the ears, yes. Okay, bend your right arm. And you can place that elbow either on your thigh or knee, but not the kneecap. Some bodies even open the arm all the way and point the fingertips down to the floor or touch the floor. You might swim your left arm open more, so the heart is pointing forward and the arms are reaching far apart. Yeah. Keep your neck probably neutral or looking down. Looking up might be a lot of torque. Keep pushing hard into both sets of big toes. Belly organs in and up to support you. Next time you breathe in, come all the way back to warrior two. Exhale, hands come down, knee straightens. Turn your toes underneath you. Come back to symmetry and notice what's left over. Good. So that's a little bit of flow that you can do within a warrior two pose. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's good fun at home to come into your warrior two and instead of be perfectly still, that's one way of doing it. That's called hatha yoga, which is fewer postures and more stillness. It means to strike or force. So you get stronger just by holding it and not moving much. And you can get stronger by flowing and moving a lot. It really challenges your balance and your cardio. So you could come to warrior two and stay, or you could breathe in to hands up, exhale, extended angle. Inhale, arms up, exhale, come over. And then come back to your warrior two and try the other side. Try it at home next time. Come back to your seat. Good. So the asymmetrical poses always must be followed by a symmetrical pose. Sitting is a really good example. Standing in neutral is an example. Anything else is that has you doing the same thing on both sides of your body is a good idea, especially if you have knee injuries, hip issues, low back pain. Always come back to something symmetrical. So let's just sit for a moment to end class. Feet in line with your knees, knees in line with your hips, shoulders stacked on top of your hips, head on top of your spine. Keep your elbows bent, hands are resting. Maybe roll your shoulders down if they crept up. And then gazes forward and soft. And take a moment to stop doing yoga and just notice what's left over from what you have done in the last 25 minutes. Notice if one part of your body is kind of calling out for your attention more than the rest. There's nothing wrong with that. But just notice it instead of attaching judgment like good or bad to that sensation. Good. Fold forward one more time. So you can either put your elbows on your knees and hold your head, or you can let your head dangle and or let the arms dangle. Shake your head yes a little bit. Shake your head no a little bit. And then one vertebrae at a time, roll yourself up. Head and shoulders are absolutely last. When you get to the top, roll your shoulders down again. Soften the skin around your forehead and your eyes and your jaw and your mouth. And if you wish, you can follow along with me through a guided body scan meditation. But as usual, the end of class is a really good time to incorporate if you're working with a prayer or an affirmation or your own meditation. Now's a really good time. But if you're following along with me, with your eyes open or shut, just bring all of your awareness and attention now to the bottoms of your feet. And just like a laser is scanning your body, start to move your awareness all the way up through the toes and the tops of the feet, up through the ankles and lower legs. Notice your knees. Notice the upper legs. Notice your hips and your buttocks and your pelvis. Keep scanning upwards to notice your belly and your low back, sides of your waist, chest and upper back. Scan down from your shoulders through the tips of your fingertips. And then scan again through your head and face. Notice your throat and your neck, the back of your head, the top of your head, forehead. Notice everything you can, any sensation that you can detect through the entire face, all the way down to the tip of your chin. And then notice everything together. Good. I'll invite you to bring your hands together, either in a prayer-like position with your thumbs touching your chest, or you can stack your hands and look down or bow down towards your heart and your hands. And this motion is in gratitude of yourself. So as best you can, give yourself a sincere thank you just for showing up and carving out the time. Everything else was just practice. And remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, your hands can come down. Let your eyes flutter open and up. Class is over. Thank you. Keep working on your warrior twos and your warrior flows at home, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns, okay? You are welcome. Thanks for coming.